All right, for this Qbounti question, I was asked, just as with Obama in 2008, there's pressure to vote for the first Democratic black woman for president. What's the best argument against voting for her based solely on identity? Oh man, we ain't really learned that lesson yet, guys. Come on. Like the last guy we voted on based solely on identity, or at least mostly on identity, was Barack Obama, who was not only the first black president, but very specifically the first African president. And he ironically did so horribly and betrayed his people so much that although he's the first African president, he brought slavery back to Africa after what they did in Libya by overthrowing Gaddafi. But the truth of the matter is, if the best argument against voting for somebody solely on identity is that if you can't give me a reason more than this is my color, I'm the first this, I'm the first that, then it probably means that you're not suited for the job. That's like the best argument that I can make. Because when I go into a job interview, when I was applying for college, whenever you apply to do anything in life, do you start out with telling them your race as a qualification for why you are best suited to do a job that requires a skill? The only time that race could be, or identity rather, could be considered and should be considered is only if you are planning on use a piece of that experience as like to contribute to your platform, your understanding of the issues, how you connect with people, etc. Connect with people to understand what issues need to be passed, etc. But like the reality of the situation is that should be implied with your policies. It doesn't take a black woman to pass policies that positively impact the black community. That could be done by a white man, right? So her race would only become like if you're going to base a vote on somebody based off of race, like in the case with Kamala, it should only impact you positively to persuade you only in so much that you should be that her policies would be influenced by the black experience that she's lived. But if that once again was the case, you would see that reflected in the policies. And right now, she doesn't even have a platform. Literally, her website doesn't have a platform. So we can't fall for that trap. If someone has to sell the identity, it's because they don't have the policies. And unfortunately, in American politics specifically, this isn't really the case overseas, right? But in American politics specifically, whenever there is a minority, and specifically somebody who identifies as black, uplifted to that degree, it is because they have already shown and proven to the elite that run America that they're willing to play ball and sell the community down the river. That's just how it goes, right? They said, for example, the fact that Kamala would even work with Joe Biden, who is a segregationist, that's should be evidential, right? But beyond that, there was a whole movement that was created because of how Donald Trump weaponized the police and gave them so much money and gave them so much leeway, and how police brutality was up. And then Kamala and Biden get into office. Kamala and Biden give the police more money than Donald Trump did. And police brutality is actually up, but it's not being covered. Why? Because it's a black woman in office, and CNN can't run that all day. MSNBC can't run that all day. So not only does it mean that they've been playing ball, but then because they're your race or your identity and you identify with them, you go to sleep and you're not paying attention. So there are a plethora of reasons not to vote for somebody solely on identity. But just like there are a plethora of reasons rather, not to vote for somebody solely on identity, you should also never discount someone or decide not to vote for them because of their identity. And that's very important too to mention, because we do have a lot of people that will ignore certain people because of their identity and not give them a fair opportunity, not give them a fair look. So, yeah, good question.